we're live.
Very nice.
Real quick, I'm gonna go use the restroom.
All right. Make sure I have the chat up. Here we go. Is that a searcher? What's a searcher? Yeah, it's the ogre. It's the ogre from the kit. Yep. I'm dropping paintbrushes. Having problems already. Alright, so today should be relatively easy. Hey Jedi, I saw you in the chat already though. And what's up, World Edit? So today we're just dealing with a bunch of armor. I probably want to redo a lot of the armor based on the initial paint job we had. Just to help with some definition, we'll add in some violet shadow, things like that. Obviously, the difference, we painted up our camel last time, and I love it way more than we did before, and the box art version. So I think we're just going to try and improve upon this as well. And then, of course, next week will be the last miniature for this kit. You can see him right here. Before we move on to the mechanical dungeon kit. And then there was a slight change. So the first episode of the mechanical dungeon kit, we're actually going to be doing the mechanical bull, the Iron Maiden, and the torture rack. So we're going to be doing 3 miniatures in one session. The torture rack, obviously, wood, wash, whatever. And then the Iron Maiden and the Iron Bull or the Red Bull, right? They're using the same colors, so that shouldn't really delay our time at all. But the trick that we're doing is sort of a schedule catch-up mechanic, so that way we can have a new kit start at a certain time. What just happened? Oh, okay. That was weird. The my Twitch just said the video was canceled. But it seems to be working just fine. But so that way we can have another kit start on time, since we're 2 weeks behind or whatever on the schedule. And then the next kit after the mechanical dungeon, which we already kind of have figured out, is the undead kit. So that's switched so that the because we had already had the ReaperCon themed kit, right? We thought that would launch the month ahead of ReaperCon, but instead that actually will begin on the last day of ReaperCon. So the last So the first miniature of the ReaperCon themed kit will be the last day and the last stream before the ending stream of the online convention. So that's pretty cool. And it should be pretty fun, right? Because there's going to be a lot of content going on that whole weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then boom, we can finish it off on Monday. And then beyond that, that's really it for all of the kits. On my Facebook page, I did ask for suggestions on themes and encounters moving forward into Q4 of the year, rounding out a full year of Miniature Monday kits. And I've gotten some cool ones so far. Really not a lot of feedback, though. So if you are interested in giving me some ideas, go ahead and drop them on the last post on my page, Mini Painting Studio on Facebook, and you guys can give me some feedback on what you're looking for. We know we have an Undead kit, right? And then a ReaperCon themed kit, the Mechanical Dungeon kit. So if there's something that you've been wanting that we haven't even touched at all, feel free to drop that. Let me know, because I will actively listen to those that are asking. That's kind of a crazy concept, right? But if you do tell me, hey, I've been wanting to try this, I may be interested in it. So, but I think that is it in terms of Miniature Monday news. Beyond that, make sure you guys, it is 6 days into a new month, I know, but if you haven't checked to see if your Twitch Prime subscription has ended or anything like that, definitely check and see if it's time to re-up and reapply your free Twitch subscription through Amazon Prime. Remember, it doesn't automatically renew for you, so you do have to go back and say, oops, I forgot, and hit that button and get it to relink. But the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and apply our honed steel, because that is going to be the majority of our color today. And we're just going to use a lot of different washing and weathering techniques to kind of redefine it. I did an all-over body wash with this guy initially, and I just think that was the wrong move. So we're going to make some edits with that today. But I have my honed steel here, and we're just going to go ahead and start applying it. I hope you guys had a good 4th of July for those that are here in the States, and that it wasn't too hot for you or anything like that. Justin actually blew off a thumb, so he's one thumb Justin now, but otherwise he is in good health. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply this all over the majority of the miniature. We are going to use gold on some sections. Let's see, okay. Should be an easy paint today, though. I'll go ahead and do this small little chunk there. That one we're going to do gold. The kneecaps I did gold, so we'll do the shin guard silver. We are. Now then I do need to see on the back here. Okay, so we did do that. Alright. Go ahead and hit that shield. All these little plates that he's got down here dangling off his skirt. Skirt plates, you know, very fashionable for an ogre. We'll do this little square plate here, and then all the forearm armor, arm plating, whatever. His crazy gauntlet. There we are. Now his bludgeon. Oh, well, that's too bad. You just missed everything. You missed everything, but What do you mean news for July? We still have a miniature on this kit, and the next kit has been announced, so it's all... There is no news. It was announced last week, I suppose. The Mechanical Dungeon. This guy right here. I actually have all the miniatures right here. I didn't realize I still have them here. Alright. We're going to paint the club. I didn't do the hot water trick on this guy. I figured I could just bend the club, but obviously sometimes that works. Other times it doesn't. This was one of the times when I should have used the hot water trick. But it's okay. I'm not going to tell this guy that his club is messed up. Alright. And then we'll go ahead and do all of the banding here on the door shield. The only additional colors we'll need today, obviously, are kind of from our core kit. So, your standard silver metallic, gold metallic, a brown, and then maybe our noir black and some white, but I'm not too sold on it yet. But obviously we gotta have some variants here on the door. And we are looking good, at least for now. I'm not too concerned with getting the metal paint up and around all of the wood there on these little whatever they are. Whoops. All right. Oops, I forgot the back of the neck here. All right, so we've got that laid in, and then I kind of don't want to do the metallic yet, the gold yet, but we may just go ahead and do that. Why don't we go ahead and grab your intense brown, and we'll go ahead and base coat the shield because I think we're going to use the same wash color on the shield at least as we will on the metals, just because it'll work well. If you don't have the intense brown from the core colors, you can just use any brown that makes sense for you. If you're really pinched, you could probably use redstone highlight from the kit itself. I should probably navigate away from this page if it's going to beep at me. Most likely. All right. Whoop. No hat rule in full effect today. All right, so now that I am going to carefully dance around the edges here of these little studs that we just painted up. If you do get a chance as well, if you're on Facebook, feel free to check out all of the entries, or not even entries, it's the finalists, the top 10 for the Color Me Impressed painting contest that I did. We've got those up so people can vote on their favorites. I think everybody that entered did a really good job, but the top 10 today that we selected, I need to take a drink, definitely put in a lot of work for their use of color. I've already had some people, too, that didn't have enough time ask if I'm going to do another one of those, and I probably will. I'll probably make it a quarterly thing, so I'll probably do it for the month of December. So, but it was pretty good. We had about 100 people join the group, and then we had about 30 or so do some, like, the starting submission to say that they're entering, and then we had about 20 of them actually finish up in time. So I think that month time frame typically, if you can sit down and make it happen, is decent to be able to put out sort of a fun contest piece, but obviously it was much different. Do I paint entire minis or just bits like Anne? So we paint the entire miniature from every kit once a week from start to finish. That's how that goes. That's why the Miniature Monday kits do so well, I'm assuming, because people can actually sit there and learn a new trick every single week and paint a new mini every single week. If I had to guess, we'll be done today by 4:30. This paint job isn't going to be too crazy, so it shouldn't take too long. I'm going to use a different color as well for the straps and everything. I realized I didn't do the metal on the interior portion of the door, so we got to catch up on that. That's not too big of a deal. I'm excited about next week, though, painting up the Hero miniature. I've been excited to paint that guy since we started this kit. I think it's such a good miniature, and the textures are so good all over the cloth and everything. Definitely going to have fun with it. And I saw people's camels from last week, too. You guys did a really, really good job. That's been very nice. I remember someone saying, too, actually, one of the people that I saw their camel, it was kind of crazy. They were like, I hate the way mine looks right now. It looks terrible. And then I saw the finished photo, and I'm like, what are you saying? It looks great. I think a lot of people aren't necessarily used to doing sort of the tonal work that we did last week when you think about like an all-over color animal like a camel, right? So they were probably just being too hard on themselves because the work that I've seen looks really nice. Oh, and then I had somebody send me a photo, I believe, yesterday, like last night, and it was they're catching up on all the Miniature Monday stuff, so they had painted up the first 3 kits worth of stuff, so they sent that, like an entire group shot, and that looked really cool. I would like to do another community review episode sometime down the line. I think if we have like an extra weird Monday or something, I need to look. I haven't looked at the calendar for the rest of the year to see if we do have an extra Monday in a month, but if we do, it would be cool. the sides. Are we cool? We cool? We cool? All right, cool. Need to catch up on that. So what else can we drop down here? I actually think we're going to do the same brown here on the leather, on the back of the cankles. We'll be able to tone that down. We probably just won't highlight it, to be honest. August has 5 Mondays? Okay. That actually may work out well. Oh, no, wait. I guess it would have to be after... The extra Monday would have to exist 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see. 1. We might... Okay, so then that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha! There we go. Right? September? So I think September 28th would be our best bet. Because then... Yeah, that would then roll back over into October and November. In my head, I didn't explain that fully all the way. It would have to be after ReaperCon. So it would have to be 2 full kits. And then, right, squeezing in an extra day. But I think the 28th would be that extra day if we were able to make it work. But it'd be fun to do. Alright, so I'm going to go back and hit the hone steel. Alright. Okay. I think that's all I doofed on. Sort of. Alright, so from this stage, what I'm looking for is what will make the most sense in terms of our future washes, and I think we're okay. So, maybe... Yeah, let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our antique gold. So painter's choice, unless you got antique gold at home. Yum, take it for a spin in the vortex mixer here. Oh, come on. Come on. You know, I was kind of thinking around in my head, too. It would be fun to be able to do a Halloween kit with the chibi, like, movie monster minis that they make in the bones, but there isn't a metal one. So I'd have to figure that out. But I was looking at those on the website the other day, and I was like, that'd be kind of fun. To start off Q4. But we have a lot of good options. I honestly think I want to poll everybody to see what their thought was for Halloween, whether they wanted to do movie monsters or if they wanted to do like a zombie movie. I like the idea of just doing a zombie, like, or not zombie, but just a movie in general. Like, I think that's kind of a fun idea for Halloween rather than your standard, like, oh, we're doing skeletons and zombies or whatever. But since Reaper has such an extensive line, we could definitely do different movies. Movie monsters, like a zombie movie with some post-apocalyptic zombie survivors. I think all that could be kind of cool. Alright, then we're going to do the helmet as well right here. Yeah, the Bonesylvanians, that's what they're called. Maybe it could be an interesting kit if we did, like, multiple. Yeah, the Night of the Living Dead kit is kind of the idea, right? Because we would use the Chronoscope survivor miniatures and then some zombies. Because, yeah, there's definitely Bones survivor minis. There's all kinds of cool metal survivor minis that we could do. And then, obviously, there's plenty. But Yeah, and then the other idea too. So Sharky, you're talking about it. They also have them in uh, they're available in bones too. We're gonna paint this guy because remember all the kits are restricted to bones other than one miniature from each kit, right? So as long as 3 of the 4 or 4 of the 5, like however they paint the actual kit breaks down, as long as it always leans in that direction, then we're typically good. But it also depends on the stock, because like I know they ran out of the bones Oswald, and so if they're restocking, they're actually substituting the metal Oswald. But any kit that I do now, it's kind of like, you got to have a ton of inventory just to be sure that months from now, they're not like, well, can't make more of that kit anymore because we're out. Let's see. I'm going to let this shoulder dry. I'm going to do another application. And honestly, let's switch this up too. So I'm going to paint some of these plates gold. But just like one out of each grouping, just to kind of break up the monotony here. Okay. As long as it has Apex in it, a chronoscope. Yeah, I mean, all of these things are possible. Remember, I wouldn't mind doing a kit that had the New Year Sophie in it. Like a chronoscope New Year kit for December. That could be cool. Actually, real chronoscope line fans know that Apex isn't the coolest monkey on the block. It's actually the orangutan miniature. Orangutan. I forget what its name is. If you just search orangutan or whatever, he pops up. He's like he's got 1 or 2 guns, and he's like a part cyborg, and he's on like a street lamp or something, or a pole. I don't quite remember the details, but it's so bad. Like I've gone through, what is this? Cool. I've gone through the entire Reaper catalog of miniatures more times than it's. Well, I say it's probably weird the amount of times I've done it, but knowing all of you weirdos as well, it's probably extremely normal. But in going through trying to figure out all the miniature Monday kits and everything like that, I've sat there and just viewed all, right, and gone through all 60 whatever pages of sculpts. But yeah, the chronoscope line is full of so many perfect little hidden gems. And then there's some that don't even have pictures on the website, and those are obviously the coolest miniatures because you don't even know what you're getting. You just have to hope that it's cool. Which, not too much of a risk there, but one of my favorite chronoscope minis is the Mutant X. That one's really fun. But it is metal currently. Not that it's expensive, it's just a big, sweet miniature. It actually reminds me of some of the... I don't remember the faction name, but it's one of the factions from Dark Age. Rest in peace, Dark Age. Cool mini or not, really pooped the bed when they let you die as a game, but they had some really cool big mutant dudes that were awesome, and he reminds me of them. Alright. Now where we are at, ladies and gents, we're going to grab our Violet Shadow and make a little wash out of it. Then we'll go back in with our Noir Black to kind of mute the purple that we're about to hit. Let's see, I'm going to get a good amount here. Where's my poo-poo point? There it is. I don't have anything exciting off of Patreon from last weekend because obviously it was a holiday, and it was nice that it happened on the first weekend of the month because the first weekend of the month is the only weekend that I'm not working. So even though I'm not doing as much work as I used to be doing, a couple years ago, I do now work 7 days a week, kind of. No, 6 days a week, 3 weeks out of the month typically. But this weekend, I'd have to look and see what we're working on Patreon. I think I want to say that this month is the month that we're doing either more sci-fi stuff or we're doing like the dumpster and the cart. I'm not sure. Someone may have to double check that for me. I'm not 100% on that. Alright, that is a perfect consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have even surface tension as I apply this all over everywhere. Yeah, I feel like we're going to go much warmer, much darker than the initial paint job that I had done for this guy. It just needed more contrast to help break apart kind of just all the big clunky armor he's rocking. The nice thing about Violet Shadow as well is that while it is obviously purple currently, as it dries, it sort of desaturates as well. And then that's going to be our goal in general, is to desaturate it further in additional shadow wash applications. And then the skin and everything, it's so minimal on this paint job. Like, honestly, what we're doing is just focusing on the metal today and making it look as good as we can. Everything else is pretty secondary. We may have to call Justin's emergency contact because he said he was running to the bathroom when we got started.
Oh, I've been back for a while.
Oh, no. I figured you were.
I had to check on the thumb being blown off comment, too.
The what?
Thumb being blown off.
Oh, so you didn't even say anything. That's crazy.
I was listening and watching your stream, man.
Oh, okay. That sure is a weird word for trimming your nose hairs.
I mean, that needs to get done, too. Actually, Josh, could you help me?
I can help you. I'm a professional.
I appreciate that. Sci-fi dinos?
Sci-fi dinos?
Sharky said.
I do love the sci-fi dinos from the Bones Black release, but they're available in metal as well, I think, right? Or just the caveman? I don't know. I'd have to double check on that one. The schedule says July is the 2 sci-fi dinos. Sweet. Okay, cool. I'm excited about that then. Sci-fi dinos. Derp derp. Because that means August is the dumpster fire. This weekend's the dinosaur guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're doing the cart and the dumpster. Which should be fun. The dumpster's a lot bigger than I was expecting, too. That's a big miniature.
I believe Daryl sculpted that, too, by the way.
Really? Well, I don't know how he got to recreate such a spitting image of my body, but he did a wonderful job. Did a wonderful job.
I'll make sure to pass that along to him.
All right. Dirt and grime on the dumpster. We're gonna do graffiti on the dumpster too. It's not just gonna be a clean, dirty dumpster. I mean, this is gonna be someone professing their love for somebody. You know, we'll have all your classic dumpster tropes. All right, washing the weapon down. Yeah, this time around on the Patreon stuff, we've got a lot of sci-fi miniatures. We also have like a whole month that's dedicated to Patrick Keith sculpts, which is cool. Which is interesting too, because I know like he has, I don't know if it's he directly, but Bombshell Miniatures is a Counterblast game or whatever. He does a lot of the sculpting for, and some of those races are available in Reaper sculpts too, which is kind of cool. Little universe crossover. Adding some more water there. Pulling it the direction I want it to go. Cool. Go ahead and do the back side of the door again. Alright, and then back of the little leather bits. Alright, cool. So I'm pleased with this. Oh no, what I'll do is I would love, I think what we discussed was spray, like doing 2020 graffiti on the outside of the dumpster. But then when I take my actual nice photos, I'll take my smoke detector out of the room and I'll put something in it and set it on fire. And hopefully I can get fire and smoke coming out of the dumpster in the actual photo. I could probably do that outside. I mean, I probably should do that. What I'm saying is I'll do it outside. But in my head, I want to do it inside. But I think that'll be the idea. And then it'll melt it, so that way we can't, ever look at it again. But it'll still be great. All right, so we're waiting for our voilet to chill. It's drying pretty quick. It's pretty dry in the house right now. According to my sinuses, it's very dry in the house. So I'm going to take our Dragon Black. Sorry, wait, Dragon Black. Guys, I'm losing it. Where's our Noir Black? My bad. I had them right next to each other. There we go. Don't worry, I'm not cheating on Noir Black. I just use Dragon Black for bases. Because it's dark. Alright. Where's my pokey tool? Oh, it's right there. Alright, I was about to say, I don't know where my pokey tool is, but it's sitting in front of me. Alright, so now I'm going to take that, turn it into a wash as well. Now then, this wash I want to be weaker, so I'm doing 5-to-1 ratio of water to paint. There we go. That should work for us. Where can we test it first? I want to test it somewhere that's relatively dry, I'm guessing. So up on the arm here is where I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be pulling it down on sort of the bottom half of the arm, so that way we get a much harsher shadow baked in to the armor plating. So you can see where I applied it. It'll be way darker. There's gonna be like a fly in here or something on my leg. What is going on, guys? You see me keep looking down at the camera. I'm like, what is happening? All right. Now I will do this pretty much the entirety of the bottom side of the door here. And we did have paint on the door, like the same blue paint that we had on the other miniature. I'm very 50-50 on that, the more that I've looked at it over the last period of time, last few days, whatever. Don't know how I feel about it, so we're just going to kind of play it by ear, but using it to darken the bottom portion. Add a little bit more water. There we go. On the knees and shins here, I'm just going to apply it and drag it down. And I'm pulling a lot of this wash back off. I mean, you can't see my thumb there, but I'm really making a mess, which is totally fine. I'm going to reapply this here on the bottom part of the belly. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it up underneath the fold there on the plate. Outline that part, and then taking water, taper the edge there that we just added, so that way it looks nice and realistic. The best way that I can describe a lot of the time whenever I'm weathering metals and doing multiple washes like that is typically I have it at a wash consistency, but I'm applying it like a glaze, if that makes sense. So it's more of a controlled application with purpose rather than just like crossing your fingers and hoping the wash gods treat you nicely. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I'm sure most of you are aware. I am going to wash all of his chainmail coif. I don't know. Words, man. There we go. The plate, I'm really focusing on just this top portion. There we go. That looks nice. Freehand symbol on the gold shoulder plating. Maybe. What if we did another spiral on the head to match the other guy, but this time it's on the armor? I don't know. Keep it in the same wheelhouse. That reminds me of the Age of Conan server, or not Age of Conan, the Conan Exile server I'm running, because everybody has like crazy cosmetic makeup right now on their characters. We've been having fun on there. Gosh, we've got Jacob Jansen playing on there. I don't know if he's connected yet, but he wants to play. And then we've got Kevin from Hulk's Workshop. I know you guys have seen him in his work before. We have Christian from Barking Dog Studios playing. It's actually just kind of funny, all the people that ended up playing on there. Go. Apply another little coat. There we go. Way better contrast being built in today than previously. Cool. On the interior portion of the door shield here, I'm just going to wash that down like so, and then use water to taper like so. Yeah, that looks really nice on this side. All right, top plates. Now, since they are on top, obviously they're not going to be much darker, but I just wanted to delineate the space between them. And then we'll go ahead and do the chainmail again. And we'll just wash the entire back. Drenching that contrast further in shadow. Excuse me. And the little leather back here. And we'll do the handle. Bottom half of the weapon. Quite literally so. All right, cool. Now we're gonna let this dry for a second. We can start building it all back up. Exciting, exciting. I know. All right, let's see if I missed anything here. The chieftain tattoos all of his subordinates with his symbol of the blue spiral. Oh, that's pretty clever. So he's saying, "This is me." Let me see. Oh, that's so funny. I was talking about bombshell miniatures because they just sent me an email. That's why my phone was buzzing. All right, cool. So now then, I need to go to a new little area on palette land here. There we go. I'm gonna get some fresh honed steel. Too bad we're not in the next kit already. I would like to use skeleton key. That's such a fun color. But we're almost to that kit. You know, actually, what's funny is one of the ideas that we floated for Miniature Monday initially was like, so kit by kit, right? All of the colors that you're getting can then be used. So essentially, like, I could be planning on using colors for every kit from other kits. So eventually, you have like all these colors that could be used at any time or whatever. I mean, as funny as that is, it would also be a huge nightmare, right? Of like figuring out 8 new paints plus what other colors I could use previously. But in that world, I'd be like, yeah, let's grab Scorch Metal and whatever we've used before. But that isn't always necessarily the point of the kit arenas. Alright, so we've got our crazy wash. What I'm going to start doing here is layering back in the honed steel as a nice little highlight. Now then, my paint's not thinned or anything. It's just a thin application of the color. Now you could also dry brush our highlight. It would get you similar results to what we're looking for, but I would rather you practice highlighting in this manner because it's the same way that we're going to be doing the true metallic metal next week on the hero on his sword. So I would like for you to attempt it, but if it is challenging, just remember, it's okay. It's alright, you can just dry brush it if you would so like to do it. There we go, making it some nice contrast. And then on this bottom one, I'm only going to go about halfway down the center line. Like that, just to delineate that it even exists, which is nice. And we'll do a little bit of the side, nowhere near the center. We'll make that nice and dark. Just bringing the brush across. Let's back it out and look at our nice reflective work. Yeah, I think that looks really cool. Much better already. So when I was looking at that initial paint job, I'm like, why didn't I add purple into the mix? Because that would just help everything out so much. But if you've been around a while, you already know things are usually better on the live paint day. Alright, so we're going to attempt the same highlighting, etc. Now I'm going to wash out my brush completely. I always need my brush to be malleable. Whenever we're doing these steps. There we go. Going ahead and doing the edge here. Alright, this side. Right up underneath the lip. Down the edge. And then just texturing our way towards that top middle center portion. Let's see, so we can, alright. Trying to decide where to invert my highlight here. And I'm thinking the bottom left-hand corner is probably good as place as any. Help make it look a little bit more metallic. There we go. Okay. And then the bottom section, actually, we'll switch it up a little bit here. Whoop. I'm going to take it, instead of from the edge, I'm going to take it from the center to the left. Obviously, very, very tapered. We don't want to really mess with the contrast down there too much. Cool. Let's back it up. Move all our colors out of the way here. Get out of there. Get out of there, guys. All right. Very, very nice armor already. Very, very pleased. All right, so then on these little bitterinos, I don't know, the weird plates he's got hanging and dangling. Just going to outline him. And then sort of stipple in, texture in, highlights where it would make sense. Now there was a bit of a strange mold line there, but nothing too crazy. It actually just looks like another piece of metal, funny enough. Cool. This guy right here. Need to wash out my brush again. Starting to get the metallic chunk on it. Pack this guy out. Boom. Boom. Top of this plate. Top of the plate to you, Andre. Andre. I think Andre Cat's here, right? I think I saw him in the chat. There we go. And then on these right here, we're going to focus in on the top and the edges, including on the interior portion. Like so. Cool. All right, then let's focus on our weird little thing here on his head. I think we'll be okay with just kind of doing the bottom and an edge here like so. That'll work just fine. A little something like that. What are we watching? So Sydney and I started watching Dark. It's like a weird German show about time travel. Real weird. Really weird. But it's holding our attention quite a bit. Not at all funny in any way, unfortunately, like What We Do in the Shadows, but well done. Surely. Oh, we gotta do these little side bits. I really gotta clean this brush. I've got gunk. Let's see. Kept being compared to Stranger Things. I don't think it's anything like Stranger Things, to be honest. I mean, I can see, like... I could see why someone's saying that, but... it doesn't really fit. Doesn't really fit the bill. I think in the instance of somebody comparing it to Stranger Things, it's more just because of the, like, sort of random similarities between the two, not necessarily, like, plot or anything like that. Alright. What I'm doing is I'm reglazing this color on top of this little thing. The placement's just so odd there. Alright. let's ignore that. Hop over to the back. Tapering it into the shadow there. Loosely highlighting up the plates in the back. Whoop. Oh, that's why I keep bumping this thing. The flash hood was open. That's stupid. I don't know why even... I don't know. Okay, well, that's a new one. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I had a really weird problem with the camera 2 weeks ago where I would turn it on and it kept being like, oh, there's a problem with the contact point on your lens. I'm like, oh god, really? Just over and over. And then it just stopped. Like, I did what everybody says to fix it multiple times and then did it again and it just randomly worked. That was a new one. I don't even take the lens off. I think that's kind of the craziest part. I'm sure somehow some dust got in there, some grime, something. Highlight on the top here is mostly just going towards that center line. And then around the edge. Just so that it's super shiny. And then on the very dark side there, we added the black wash. We're just gonna outline. So I'm gonna actually do a very physical sharp line here, down the center portion of each plate, and then just the edges. Okay. Working for us so far. I don't want to do anything to the door yet because we haven't outlined any of the wood. So what we'll do now, we'll take the antique gold, build that back up real quick. Grab our antique gold here. Well, thanks, MPit24. I'm assuming M stands for Mandarin. Yeah, I'm hoping I don't have to replace this. Well, honestly, if something happened to this camera, like the body, where I had to replace a sensor, that just means I'm buying a new camera. That's the truth of that situation. There we go. Yeah, that purple made such a good difference on the metal there. Perfect, perfect. Oh, hey, Zambies, I didn't see you pop in. Your first and last name. So I'm gonna guess your first name's Pitt. And your first name is Maraschino. Isn't that the kind of cherry? Does that pun work?
Pitt Maraschino,
That sounds like
the famous miniature painter, Pitt Maraschino.
I was gonna say that sounds like a good rap name. Hi, what's up? My name Pitt Maraschino. Crack crack.
Funny because cherries have pits.
Well, hey, I mean, oh, maybe it's Mosh Pit. Hey, my name's Mosh Pit. I mean, hey, whatever. My name's boring. I would prefer something fun.
Oh, the hypothetical Sharky. Okay. Obvious fishing is obvious.
That's hilarious. I did, yeah. It was funny. I made that meme that was the paint name generator over the weekend, and I did appreciate the one person that commented, "Stop giving away your personal information," because it goes by your birthday.
Oh, sure.
It was pretty funny, but I think the irony of anyone saying "stop giving your information out" on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, it's kind of like it's already too late. It's far too late.
Yeah, I think really if you're trying to avoid that kind of stuff, you avoid social media basically on all fronts.
Yeah.
That's just the best way to go about it.
Yeah, the best tool against identity theft is just having the worst credit possible. And it will never happen to you. They'll be like, ooh, I just signed up for a credit card. Oh, wait, what? Oh, wait. Man, what's wrong with this social security number I just stole? It's not getting me anything. So let me go ahead again. So the Miniature Monday kits are not tied. It's been confusing. So the problem is that we moved them away from being associated by month because they're not going to come out in that fashion necessarily. So like the July kit's not the July kit. It's just the mechanical dungeon kit, and it's released whenever it's released. I mean, they've had the images. Because obviously it doesn't start until the 20th of this month. God, the last Miniature Monday, we literally spent an hour figuring all this out. Yeah, so it's the 20th is when that kit actually begins. So I would assume it goes live this week, maybe? The end of this week? Sometime around then, if I had to assume. Assume. And then we will be back, like, on track, so to speak, for the beginning of the September release, only because it's ReaperCon. And technically that's not even September, because technically it begins on the 31st. So it's even more confusing, but that's when that kit begins. But yeah, there was a slight communication, or a miscommunication, I would say, in terms of, whenever I submit the stuff, it's submitted as, this kit is the mechanical dungeon kit. That's what it's called, or whatever. This is the desert theme, But it keeps getting loaded onto the website as a monthly name, which, is confusing. Hopefully we'll get it figured out at some point. I'm sure. I'm sure eventually when we're on kit 987 and we've run out of every single paint to possibly use, it will all make sense. And somebody did ask, this isn't as common as a question necessarily, but somebody did ask if we were going to be redoing the core colors, and no, not anytime soon. Honestly, I would think that'd be a year, like, because at first they were like, well, what if we do it quarterly? What if we do it every 6 months? Whatever. the core colors, unless we just want to change our gold and change our, you know what I mean? Like it's so utility that like we can make a change just to do it, but it's kind of worked out to where that isn't necessarily a thing that would really make or break the programming. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going back in with the gold, layering it very thin the same way that we did with our honed steel. I'm mixing stippling in with overbrushing, a little bit of tapering, you name it. Anything that ends in ing, I'm attempting to do it. And it is giving us a nice highlight on that gold. Freestyle HQ, 9 months of Twitcherino Prime. I know I said it at the beginning of the show, but since it is a new month, do double check and see if you are using Amazon Prime to get your free Twitch Prime subscription. I don't know why that happened. Definitely check and see when you are due to renew, because it's not going to be your friend and do it for you. You got to say, hey, renew that for me, and it'll do it. And then big thanks as well to everybody that's been using the Amazon shop link as well to do your regular Amazon shopping. That does help me out a lot, especially during these weird times. But you can always check that out. You can go to amazon.com/shop/minipaintingstudio, or if you want it to be much easier, just go to minipainting.studio. Click the Amazon link and then just shop for whatever you want. I do also have a aggregated page of all kinds of hobby goodies that I use here at home. That's where that link will land you. But as long as you do your regular shopping after clicking that link, you still help me out. So big thanks there. It's not much per transaction, but enough of you do it makes it really worthwhile. So I always appreciate you. But that was a huge help with our move. Without that extra Amazon cash coming through because of you guys, that was big help. Thanks, Sharky. All right, back of this plate.
Thank you, Whack-A-Mole, for the Twitch Prime.
Boom. Awesome. Thanks, Whack-A-Mole. Whack-A-Mole, we've never seen you in the chat. You have to say something now. I mean, I don't really care. You don't have to say something, but
We appreciate it if you say hello.
we appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. All right. Boom. We've got some armor happening.
Oh, well, that took an interesting turn.
Oh, guacamole.
Yeah, I thought it was Whack-A-Mole.
Guacamole.
Oh.
Guacamole. All right. Now then. All right. If I can just clear my throat too many times. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this intense brown, make a little wash out of it. And we're going to tint some areas real quick. Just some grimy stuff. I'm going to add a little bit of the violet shadow in there. I'm just going to kind of use this in between plated sections and materials. So like up towards where the chainmail meets that plate metal. Just kind of pushing it in to the cracks and creases. Not really so much as like rust or anything, but just dirt. Just grime. Go ahead and put it more into the chainmail. Sorry, let me zoom in so it's a little bit easier. Now what's nice about us using the purple, the violet shadow of course, is that this color will read much warmer than it typically would because the violet shadow is so cool. It's such a cool tone color. Put it up here around the neck. Put a little bit more. Like I was saying earlier, this is a wash consistency in terms of the color mix, but I'm applying it more as a glaze. Chewy, it's just the intense brown mixed with a little bit of the violet shadow just to darken it a touch. But I would say it is working like a dream. All right. Pull it down in this direction. All right. So let's go ahead and do the skin. We're going to start off the skin with redstone highlight. Now the rest of the mini is going to come together pretty quickly here. Now then, the face and everything involved here, not necessarily a ton of detail for us to bring out in terms of the skin tone like we did on the first ogre, but we're going to get close. We are going to wash it with the violet shadow as soon as it's dry. As that's drying, the wash itself will then go back in and start up all the other details on the mini too. Try my best to kind of gouge out the seam lines that were there on the hand, and it worked okay. My nemesis is trying to clean a seam line off of a cylinder-shaped object, which those fingers definitely are. I'm just not dexterous enough. Is that the word? I think it is. Dexterous? Dexterous? Sorry. Am I saying it weird? What's happening? I think so.
Serious?
What? Your mic only cut in at the end of that word. What did you say?
I said dexterous.
Dexterous? Okay, I like that.
Also, Chew Boots said that she missed the brown. Which brown was that? Apparently.
Should we tell Justin that he wasn't listening, or should we let him figure that out?
Go ahead and just chalk it up to reading. I was reading. I'm sorry.
That's so funny.
You know what, Chewy? No, Chewy wants to know what it is again for me.
No. See, now Chewy gets punished because of you.
Chewy, quick, tell him you need another color that you didn't know what it was. And I'll wait, and I'll repeat that one after you've already answered.
Justin, that's not how this works. See, what you're trying to do is you're going into Wendy's, and you're like, hey, can I get a Frosty? And they're like, sorry, man, we're out of vanilla Frosty. Like, we can't do Frosties. And you go, oh, can I get a large Frosty? It's, like, technically different. It's not going to work.
Hey, Chewy, can I get a large Frosty?
No. I mean, I would love a Frosty, actually.
What to say? Now I want a Frosty.
Yeah. It's weird to think that it comes in solid form before they prepare it.
Oh, it's solid when they...
Yeah, it's room temperature and solid.
Really?
Yeah, it's like an alfalfa brick.
I did not know that. Is that a... I can't tell if you're being serious.
Oh, no, I'm being very serious, Justin.
Get to your face. I'm getting it on delay.
What are you talking about? I'm telling the truth here.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is they take sawdust, they turn it into a fine powder, and they mix it with stevia and a little bit of cocoa powder, and then they press it into a brick, and then they ship the bricks to the Wendy's. And then what happens is Wendy, when she gets to work, she takes those bricks She mixes them with lemonade, the leftover lemonade, and put it in the little churning freezer deal, and boom, that's how Frosties are born.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't ask how they make the spicy chicken sandwich, but it's very similar. All right, I think we got the scan. Nope.
Pit Maricino wants you to do the baked potato now.
Oh, the baked potato. So what they do, it's crazy to think that the baked potato is actually made out of pork rib, but what it is, it's a big hunk of pork rib meat that they shape into the shape of a patat, and then what they do is they take that and they cover it in Tony Chachere's seasoning, and they also put a little bit of soy sauce in with it. That's what makes the nice brown skin texture on the outside. So what happens is that they wrap it in tin foil and then it gets cooked. The tin foil actually sears and crispifies the seasoning on the outside, which turns it into what appears to be baked potato skin. Again, what you're eating is powdered pig rib meat shaped into the form of a potato. Now, the interesting thing here is that the shredded cheese is actually made out of xanthan gum mixed with shrimp powder. That's what gives it that nice tang when you bite into it. The sour cream is actually sour cream. They didn't really scrimp on that part, but the more you know. I feel like the better informed you are as a consumer, you can make better health choices. That's why you would always go for the large Frosty instead of the small Frosty. But
Wendy's baked potato, aggressively not vegetarian.
oh no, yeah. I mean, they use gelatin for the chives. The chives are actually made out of horse hooves. You would never believe that, but you don't like their sour cream? It's made with real sour cream. I know. They've been having problems with that forever, but all right. So now then, what I would like to do is I would like to take. How do we cheat death here? Is the question. So we're going to take Intense Brown, I suppose, and we'll mix it in with... Let's do Intense Brown. We'll mix it in with a little bit of Noir Black directly. That'll be our sort of off brown color for the rest of our details. Let's see, can you see it? Can you see it? There it is. Don't tell you what Soylent Green's made out of. Man, I used to live off Soylent, though, for real. That's a great healthy meal replacement. That's so funny too. Justin and I talked about that.
Soylent's come up like twice in a 1 week now, basically.
How funny. Yeah, I think we're gonna buy some here. We were talking because Sydney doesn't really like. She's never hungry for breakfast, so it works out. It checks out.
Yeah, I'm looking for because we talked about how it was a meal replacement, right?
Yeah. Yep. At the time, it was the only fully FDA approved meal replacement. And that was 5 years ago or whatever. So I'm sure they have competition, but that was kind of the part that sold it for me, was that they passed all the tests. You know what? I'm just gonna paint over the straps. Or the buckle itself. I'll just repaint that. I'm not gonna fight that tiny detail. All right. Getting all his pieces here on the shield. What else are we looking at? So we have some little ropey things here. We'll paint up much brighter side of his body. We'll go ahead and paint up all these straps same color. Now then, the underside of the arm, you can do in that redstone highlight if you would like. I'm just going to wait and apply the wash color there. It's more of a glaze because I want it to be very dark in shadow. I will go ahead and coat his little skirt here with the same color. We're going to highlight that up with the olive, though. But this base color will work just fine. The skulls we may as well coat as well. May as well coat as well. We'll go ahead and base it with the same color. How about I speak a little bit more intelligently here? I know, it's a challenge. And then we'll do the belt straps across the back. And we'll wash this stuff down. Okay, so we got that going, cool. Now then, we're going to take Violet Shadow, just like we did on the other ogre. We'll wash him down. Do be careful to avoid, of course, anything that may still be wet. Some more of this color. Get this leg, this foot. Rewash that too a little bit. All right, cool. Got that handled. And then I'm just going to do a noir black wash on the other details we just painted, assuming they are relatively dry, which most of them are getting there. Oh, I like how I didn't... Okay, hold on. As I completely don't paint the tassels in the front, or whatever, his little loin stuff. I need a lot more color, though. Let me do that. Let me see. All right. There we go. All right, so I will wash down the areas that are dry enough to do so, just to get them dark. All right, now we're just waiting for both of these to dry, and we can continue our highlights. I'm going to apply this here all at the same time. Now see, we kind of destroyed that guy. There we go. All right. So we're just waiting. All right. Reaper Peepers, how's it going? All right. Now then, I am going to get our intense brown on its own. To do our highlights here on the door. Go to new area in palette land. I'm just going to be following the wood grain. Relatively simple highlight here. On this middle section, I'm going to focus on the top of the planks in the door and then stop about halfway down where visible. That way we're not competing too much with the wash that we apply. So the overall hue works very well. Sorry, tone. Very nice. Then here, the bottom row, I'm going to focus on just the top edge of each plank, not highlighting down the body at all, just the sides, like so, to add a little bit of definition in there. But you can see, right, we've masked a lot of that wash so that it's just visible behind our brushstroke highlights. Same thing on the interior portion. Obviously, we have much less to highlight down. For your ReaperCon class, you're going to post a list of the palette. I have no idea. I don't know. I feel like I won't know any of that information until who knows. Which I'm sure is a good answer, but that's probably the exact answer that Justin would also give. I'm just like, nah, we'll figure that out whenever more information's available.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I don't know if I'm actually going to be doing both of them anymore. We'll see. Just depends on where it all fits. If I had to guess, though, it will probably be my extended palette. So it'll be the list. It'll be like the 32 Reaper colors that I use for all my painting. Because I don't, I wouldn't necessarily like choose. I wouldn't want to limit myself. But then again, like if there's I don't know. I'm not even gonna say what I'm thinking because it's not like. It could be completely different by the time it actually happens, so we'll just wait and see. But if it is kind of choose your own colors, then 9 times out of 10, it'll just be the colors that I use for everything. All right, so we've got that highlighted up. The bags and everything like that are rocking pretty well. So we're going to do the skin really quick. We need our redstone highlight as our base. Okay. I am excited though for the online class. For me, it's just like any other day. So I'll be in my comfort zone. It'll also be interesting to see what I can get done in a 4-hour chunk. But the miniatures that I selected for a reason. Because I do think they are... The very high-level paint job is very achievable on those sculpts. So, for instance, right, like this guy has 4 hours of work in him so far. This guy's off the Patreon stuff. We've really only been working on the metals, which I think look killer currently. I'm very pleased with our gold, everything else we have going on. So, I mean, it just depends. Alright, so finishing out the skin here. I think what I would do at least would be come up with the color palette in the same sense that I used to do for the Patreon lessons. And then that would get released. That way it's not, you know, I don't want someone to think like the barrier of entry is like you have to own the same paints that I do. Rather, you can look at your collection based on the palette that I would share, like the swatch that I would share, and if you need to purchase something, you can. Otherwise, you can make your best judgment call. And then I have to see too, like what's in. I mean, I don't know the details for sure, and then Justin may or may not pipe in at all. But from what I understood, there's like a generic class kit, and then so that will probably have some colors in it, and then there's also. I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like would I include. I obviously can't include any of the colors that are in like the swag bags or anything because that's not a barrier of entry either. But that's why I think I'll just stick to my typical palette because I have it. I know that other people have it. And it's not crazy. It's just, you know, a bunch of normal colors, so to speak. Aha, you just bought the whole palette. Man, I wish I could get an affiliate percentage off of selling all those paints. It's okay. It's alright. Alright. Doing the side of the mouth here. The underbite. Underneath the nose. So let's connect that. Let's do the nose. This brush is so trash that I'm using right now. It's actually scaring me that I'm even attempting to use it. We'll make it work. It's a brush I destroyed over the weekend. There we go. Highlight up the tootsies. Alright, cool. So now we're going to go for our chestnut gold. Yeah, really the only color that I like to use that isn't on that list of 32 for obvious reasons is phthalo green. But it's okay. That color will exist for everybody at some point, I'm sure. I try and use it very sparingly. Alright. Thank you for the kind words, Sharky. Alright, we're going to highlight up the skin a little bit here. Top of the hand here. Stopping it at the knuckle joint, essentially. Highlighting up our hands. Toes, I'm not going to do anything with. I feel like the toes are too far south to be catching too much light. We'll do the top of the calf, top of the side of the knee, part of the thigh. Yeah, remember, you can always check out everything involved at my Patreon at patreon.com/minipaintingstudio. You can start off at $5 a month. You can go all the way to private lesson tiers where you do get a discount on your private lesson sessions, which currently I've got 2 people doing that, which is good value for them. And then for those that aren't at the $20 or above plus tier that have been seeing all of the King of Hell stuff, right? That big demon that I just showed off. That entire series of videos will be released to the $10 people once we're completed or finished with it. So for now, at the people at the Atelier tier, it is a paint along, and so that way they can post feedback, get help, whatever. And then after we're finished, right, we'll just release it to the tier beneath them. And obviously it's not the same as a weekly paint along, but for people that are at that $20 tier, you are getting like 10 hours of video a month, which is cool. We'll zoom this out. Okay, so now I am going for our, let's see, what do we mix this in with here? I'm going to go for olive skin. And I'm also going to throw out some white onto the palette. Gosh, my allergies have been so bad up here for like the last week. So bad. I've been dying. Alright, so I'm going to mix in some of this to the gold. Do quick little spot highlights. Where are we at? Right here? Yep. Go ahead and highlight up the big old twofer with this color. We'll go brighter here in a minute. So, on to the dwarf, man, the January kits. That's where it all began, man. What's funny too is, we planned out the first quarter of goodies in October of 2019. So it was a long wait for me to sit there and be patient before the Miniature Monday stuff started. Because I was just excited to see, will it work? Will people hate it? Will people hate me? We know the answer is yes. But people enjoy the kits, so I think that's why they stay. I'll take Justin's silence as a confirmation in what I just said.
I was waiting until you were through, but that's funny. I'll take it.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be sad to not be able to really hang at the new studio space whenever it's ready. Not that I can't come down. I'm only like 2.5 hours away, but
That's true. You can always make the trek.
here, the pilgrimage. Anything I can do to come mess with John. I should. Oh, you know what I should do? I should schedule a tour. He'd be so pissed. He'd be like, "Really? Really?" We should go back out to eat at the pizza joint. That's pretty good.
Which one?
The one where y'all had lunch that one day. It's like down by you just like keep driving towards the highway.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty good.
that's Palios.
All right, so now I'm gonna add a little bit of white and do my little final highlights here on the face and everything. I'm just gonna be doing the top of the nostrils, the top of the nose. Just brighten that face up a little bit. And then I'm going to go much brighter for the tusks. Let's see. No, it's not a metal mini. And I mean, nothing we're doing right now is like thin paintwork, so it's not going to rub off. If I was doing airbrushing, anything like that, a bunch of glazing, then yeah, I would worry about it, but not on this guy. He's going to be pretty hardy. Oh, I did say I was going to highlight, use a different color for the these guys. Do that there. Okay, so got these skulls in the back. We'll go ahead and give them a little bit of action. I just mixed the color we were previously using with a little bit of the intense brown to do the base color for the skulls. And I'm just doing sketch for the actual highlighting on them and everything, since they are a bit more illustrative skulls in terms of the sculpt itself, so we don't have to be too crazy realistic for them to look good. Just gotta make sure the color and the lighting is correct and they'll work out. I'm excited too. I started the Undead kit today. So the next kit after the Mechanical Dungeon. I know a lot of people are going to be pumped when they see it. It's not that we're necessarily stepping up our paint jobs in terms of the skill required, but I am able to push things in a little bit different direction. I think that was obvious with this kit, and then really I think starting at the Jungle kit was when I was kind of like, alright, I can push certain things with people because it's a skill that can scale. So now that we're doing that, I can really hone in some cool stuff. Alright, so I'm happy with those. There's no other hidden skull, right? That's it? Alright. Alright, now then, let's take care of our off-color that we used for all the straps and stuff. There we go. I'm just mixing it up with the redstone highlight here on the palette. This was the same color I used to do the base coloring. It should be a very subtle but noticeable highlight on everything. There we go. And then we'll go back and do the buckle. Yeah, that color actually works perfectly. There we are. Same thing on this side. Just kind of outlining the area. Highlighting the center. that. Let's see what else we got. So we got these straps here on the side. Straps across the back. Yeah, I'm excited for next month too, or not month, the kit. The mechanical dungeon, because of all the weathering that we get to do. My favorite piece, I think. Wait, where is it? What, guys? All right, I've lost a piece. Oh, just kidding. Whoop! I'll throw it all over the place. I like this guy. I think he turned out so cool. Very fun little dungeon dressing. But then again, all of them turned out good. I mean, the main hero looks awesome. She definitely was a fun paint. Everybody's favorite, the Red Bull. Ooh, ooh, ah. Ooh, Red Bull, Rusty. Ooh. Ooh, ah. All right. Now then, let's take the green. So we've got our Worn Olive. Sorry, before I forget, only because I see it right here, I'll do the little buckles on everything. Too easy to ignore. Easy peasy. All right. And using our green. We'll highlight down to the base where there's that little metal bit. I'm just pulling the paint itself down. This color does require a bit of shaking to get the consistency going, so if you do have a mixer, feel free to use it before you get started, because I sure didn't. And I really should have. I'll just fix that problem. I like how it moves the palette cam. That's kind of funny. The centrifugal, centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. There you go. All right.
Spot on.
Spot on. All right. Much better. Why fight with paint when you can just give it the shake it needs? It'll work just fine. Unless fighting with the paint is part of your process, then by all means. I don't want to tell an artist what to do. Perfect. The starting center force. That's pretty good. Yeah, what we don't realize here is that this miniature actually was supposed to be part of a fantasy highlight team. And at the last second, Bobby Jackson decided to swap the highlight thing, mitt, thrower, I don't know what the term is for the actual thing, with this big old club. So What's the best kit of Reaper paints to give you a comprehensive range of colors? I actually have no idea. Because I've
They have some,
never.
but I don't know if got a super great range on it.
Yeah, because like they have the learn to paint kits is usually what I see people recommend whenever that question gets asked. But you know, for me, my perspective is a little bit different because if the question is, if you own zero paint and what should you buy first if you're going to be buying a Reaper kit, then the question is, well, do you know how to paint already, or like are you completely new to the hobby, or just whatever the question may be, because some people will ask because they're wanting to switch to Reaper paints. Let's say they've been using a different brand, if they've been like nothing but Army painter, if they're a newer painter because it was cheaper, or if they were a war gamer and they were using like Citadel or P3, or they're tired of P3 because they can't get their hands on restocks or like whatever, right? People switch paints for all kinds of reasons. I think it's more important to understand first like what their main need is. If they're a brand new painter, then obviously I would say one of the learn to paint kits is probably the most beneficial, just because it will sort of set you on the right track. But otherwise, if you're just talking about like the huge kits that they sell that come with like large chunks of the MSP line, those aren't necessarily put together in terms of like this is a collection. It's literally like here's paint number 9502 to 9999, right? Like it's just kind of an easier way to group all the paint and sell them that way. Because I think you weren't here earlier, but I do all of my painting with just 32 colors. So for me, it's kind of like, and then obviously we do this painting with about 10 colors every single week. So it's like, well, someone posted in the Facebook group over the weekend, I think they were like, how many colors do you really need in a collection, right? And the answer is 8. Primary colors, a metallic, white and black. That's all you need, technically. But depending on where you're at in your skill level, either A, you are going to waste a lot of time mixing paint, and that'll just take up a lot of your fun painting time. And so that's why people want to buy pre-made colors. They don't have to sit there and think about it. Or you're like me, where you're a point in painting where you don't need a ton of color because you know how to make whatever color you need. So really, it's just kind of like I said, it depends on where somebody's at. But that is it for today. Definitely hugely pleased with the coloration that we've got on the armor, the highlights on the armor. Everything is so much better than what we had initially on my first go round painting this guy. But definitely very happy. Remember, next week we're painting up the hero. Here's this bad boy right here. And since we know the paint jobs are always better the second time around, I can't wait to see what we do with this guy, because I was very pleased with this paint job. I think what's going to be better next week whenever we do this paint job, I'll probably go brighter on the actual like green little vest he's wearing, even though I love the structure of this vest. So like if we look really close, look at it. You guys never get to see the minis up this close, but you can tell we did a killer paint job on this one already, so I'm very pleased. Oh, look, I made a mistake. Don't tell anyone. You see that right there? You see the little spludge? That's pretty funny. What works best to paint resin miniatures? Well, as long as you've cleaned them, you should prime them. I always suggest Stynylrez primer. Reaper makes a brush-on primer as well, but since I have an airbrush, I use Stynylrez by Badger. And then otherwise, you can just paint with whatever paints you have. Obviously, I would recommend Reaper paints. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to paint this guy up next week. I think we'll do a better job on the blade. I think we can get better shadows built into the blade for sure. But either way, that is the last miniature that we are rocking and rolling with for our desert kit. Before we move on to the mechanical dungeon, we'll look at the mechanical dungeon really quick as well. Here's the big bad boss mini. We got this big Red Bull. Really fun. It comes with a red metallic. We wash everything down with a blue metallic. Like the mechanical dungeon kit is all geared around metallic paint, essentially. Then we have the dungeon dressings here. We've got the Iron Maiden and the torture table. We're painting all 3 of these at the same time. And I think we're actually starting off the kit with this one, I believe. What does it leave? It leaves those 2. Yeah. So we're going to start with a bang. We're going to do all of these in the same episode. It won't really take much longer than normal. Then the hero and NPC that we have all match, of course. So we have these two right here. These are going to be fun. I got a little droop on that sword. But I'm very excited on this kit because it's the first kit where we have multiple tones of the exact same metal color. But beyond that, I think that is all for today. Again, thanks for everybody that's signing up on the Patreon, everything else that we have going on. I hope to finish up this miniature this week. This is that dumb, long-term project we were working on, but I'm ready to start another pirate chick, so I'm very happy with where we've gotten with her. I don't know when the last time you saw this was, Justin. I don't know. I think
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've done a lot of progress on it, though. I'm very pleased. But I think that's all for today. So, do you have anything else for us, Justin?
No, I just have I think I have a raid set up for us. But also remember, everyone, that the show tomorrow, or I'm sorry, Proctor show tomorrow will not be airing because he got busy with some stuff. So we just have Ann tomorrow morning at 11:30 Central. So tune in for that. But outside of that, check out the Miniature Monday kits online. Or on our website, I should say. Well, of course it's online, but on our website.
Awesome. All right, yeah. I mean, I would assume, like I said, that kit goes live sometime this week. Usually, it's always 2 weeks or so ahead of time, which would be this week sometime, since the Mechanical Dungeon kit starts on the 20th of July. So just keep that in mind. And then after that, we've got the Undead kit, which is right here. I'll go ahead and just show you everything in the Undead kit. Are you guys ready? Check it out. You ready? We have this miniature right here, so go ahead and put that on camera. And then we've got this miniature right here, so you can see we've got that one on camera. And we got this miniature right here, and we got this miniature right here, and we got this miniature right here. So there you go. This is the Undead kit. You guys can see that, right? It's all clear, crystal clear. You know what's coming in the kit. But this will be painted up over the next few days as well. And I don't think I'll share the painted images of that yet. I'll wait until after the Mechanical Dungeon kit goes live and everything, because that should be, or I'll do it whenever it actually starts on the 20th. So yeah, one of these miniatures is pretty easy to guess what it is, but yeah, we have enough gray blobs to fill a kit. I'm pretty pleased with it. But either way, thanks so much, guys. Who are we rating today, Justin?
We are going to be rating, let's see here, Hobbies for Happiness.
There you go. All right. Make sure you guys share the Reaper love, and we'll catch you next Monday.
Very much, guys. Keep being awesome, and say hello for us.
All right, Justin. So now that we've canceled or we've entered the stream, let's talk about the special Miniature Monday kit that we'll be releasing soon. So I know it involves it involves the 10-foot miniature, right? I think that's what we discussed.
Making a 10-foot miniature, correct.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Better known as a statue.
I don't think we've gone over to the raid yet. Are we? There we go. That's pretty funny.